problems, or potential challenges when all eyes are on you. That is what we are going to be talking about today. Hi, this is Simon Leung from simonleung.com. Welcome back to our show about absolutely nothing, usually, except when we are in fact talking about something. So for all of you who are joining us for the very first time, we welcome you onto the show. As you can probably see, we've made a little bit of changes here and there. If you were with us yesterday, you would have seen that I was demonstrating with my friend Asher how he actually was able to recommend some lights, and I never actually installed them, but today we actually plugged them in and we're checking them out. And so you can see that the background is a little bit of a different color. We moved the webcam just a little bit to accommodate for a lot of the different things. So that's basically a big part of what we're going to be discussing today, is because, well, as much as we try in life, in business, especially in things like this, we want to plan as much as possible. And so we want to expect things. We want to learn to expect things. That's how we get ourselves organized, right? But one thing that we'll realize is that a lot of times things do not go as we plan. And so the goal that I'm trying to stress to you today is that regardless of what you might be trying to do, whether it's planning your life, whether it's planning a live stream, whether it's planning a business, whether it's trying to do a live show, a live presentation, live in-person type of presentation, right? Or just a talk or whatever else, a live meeting, conference, or whatever. We need to learn to expect the unexpected. So that's all of the cool things that we're going to be trying to talk about today as much as possible. As always, if you are on with me right now, definitely drop me a line, leave a comment, say hi, where you're from, and what time it might be where you are right now. Because I'll tell you, I've planned all day to be on live, and I didn't plan to have to go out. I didn't plan to have to stay out until maybe around 8 plus my time. It's about 9:05 p.m. And so it's a little bit later of going live than I initially had planned. But again, the theme for today is how we should plan to expect the unexpected. And so that's the entire reason why we're talking about this, because everything just so happens to be real life examples all at the same time. And that's another thing, right? Because a lot of times I do not really plan how long I want to be on these shows. The first time that I was on a few days ago, I expected maybe to be on for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Lo and behold, I was actually on for over an hour, right? And then another time, I think it was 2 days ago, I expected probably maybe an hour and a half of content, but unexpectedly, there weren't too many people on at the time that I was actually live. And so that was unexpected. We closed shop in about 45 minutes. Yesterday, I also unexpectedly welcomed in my very first guest, Mr. Asher Au, right? And so initially, I was thinking maybe 30 minutes, even talking to him. He was like, I need to be out of here in 2 hours. Do you think it'll last that long? I said, no, it won't last that long because it can probably end very quickly. I just want to drop in and say hi and, see what kind of value that you can bring. 30 minutes in, an hour in, the interaction became so much that within 2 hours at 11 p.m. when he had another class going on, we actually had to end the show early. Okay, so again, things will happen. Expect the unexpected. So for those of you who are coming in, thank you very much for your interaction. Janice says, hello, Simon. Hello back to you, Janice. Dominic Lopez says, I would love your insights and idea I have. Great. Share with me your ideas. I love to give insights. I like to share my ideas as well. There's obviously a time and a place. We always want to make sure that whenever we have these types of live sessions, we can interest everybody, right? And really bring value to everybody. So if something that you want to share with us right now is along the topics of, expecting the unexpected or planning ahead type of thing, we would definitely be more than happy to welcome your insights. guys. And by the way, I believe this is the very first time that we have connected. So Mr. Dominic Lopez, welcome to the show, and look forward to interacting more with you. KK Lee says, good evening, Simon. KK Lee from Malaysia. Very cool. I mean, Selangor, it's right by KL. We used to go there every single weekend up until March of this year. I believe maybe once or twice we even had the opportunity to meet at my office in KL as well. But unfortunately, times have changed. We can't really do live events. We can't really even travel all that much. So the last time that I did go to KL was in March. Of course, this is along the lines of everything that we're talking about today, right? When we started the business, when we opened the office in KL, when we opened the office even here in Penang, we expected a long-term business. We expected to be able to help as many people as we can for a very long time to come. But of course, 2020 gave us a little curveball, didn't it? And so a lot of things changed. Everything that we expected was evidently changed. Everything that we had planned was no longer a part of the plan by the time April of this year actually came around, right? So as entrepreneurs, and along with the theme that we're talking about today, expecting the unexpected, we are living proof that this is so especially important. Janice says, just gone 1 p.m. here in London, having my lunch. Good afternoon to you, Janice. I guess 9 p.m. my time is pretty good, especially for people who might be in the UK, because that means that you are waking up just about now. Unfortunately, for our friends in the US, even in Eastern time zone in New York, Florida, things like that, it's still 9 a.m. in EST. And of course, let's not talk about our friends in San Francisco, LA, Vegas, right? All in the PST time zone. It's 6 a.m. for them. So unfortunately, we're probably going to miss a whole bunch of them during this session. But as we like to say, we're on literally, it could be at any time, because we want to make sure that we reach as fast as an audience as possible. So if today, unfortunately, we can't meet some people, but we get some of you in the UK and in Australia and in Malaysia, maybe the next time it'll be like the middle of the night, my time, right? And then pretty cool, I'll be able to see some of my US friends, but that would unfortunately also mean some of the friends who are joining us right now won't be able to do so. So it's a give and take, but the good news is that everything is on replay, everything is recorded. That's why we are multi-streaming, we're simulcasting across multiple platforms, multiple networks. We're on YouTube, we're on Twitch, we're trying to get on LinkedIn, we're trying to get on Instagram sometime soon, and of course, on Facebook, across multiple of my profiles and multiple of my pages, as well as groups. We try to be as diverse as possible, but obviously expect the unexpected, right? A lot of times it doesn't always go as planned. Thank you very much for those of you who are interacting and commenting. Sarah, it has been a long while. Congratulations for finally making to one of these live sessions. I know that it's been a couple of weeks since the Groovathon, and that was probably one of the last times that we were able to connect live. If you're not sure what the Groovathon is, it was basically 14 full days, 24 hours of straight training from our friends, organized by Groove Digital. And I had the pleasure, the opportunity, the privilege to host what we call Groove at Night, which was the nighttime session in the US time zone. It was daytime for me as well as in Australia. And so it was really Groove at day, so to speak. But anytime between 9 p.m. to about midnight Eastern Standard Time to about 6 a.m. to 8 a.m., sometimes 9 a.m., the time zones and the duration, they weren't all very specific, not consistent every single day. I was on live usually for those long blocks of times, and so at that moment, I really had the opportunity to learn a lot about myself. I had the opportunity to connect with a lot of my friends, whom I was able to interview, as well as fellow Groovesters who are actually watching us live. So when you go to simonleon.com/Groovathon, in due time, I will be uploading more of our sessions from Groove at night as well as Groove at day, some of our favorite moments and things like that. So be sure to check back often, especially if you want to see how you can get involved now and be involved now to be a part of probably the best community / network in the entire world. Definitely learn how you can do that by going to simonleon.com/groovathon, or if you want a shortcut to learning more about what we call the Groove community, learn how you can join for life, for free, right here, right now, especially if you're joining us for the very first time, notwithstanding, and not to mention tons and tons and tons of absolutely free tools that you can access today. Again, for life, go to myinternetbuilder.com to learn more. Again, that's myinternetbuilder.com to sign up for your free account, join our free community, learn more about how you can be a part of all of that. All right, very cool. So moving on to many of the things that we want to continue to share with you today. I'm taking a look at some of the comments, and you know what? Like I said, expect the unexpected, right? Expect that things go wrong. Expect that there will be bugs. Expect that not everything is going to work correctly, because the moment that I came back to this chat box where I was reading off the messages earlier, it actually gave me a bunch of blank messages. Like for right now, I can see the names. I see KK Lee, I see Dominic, I see Janice, I see Sarah, but it was a completely blank box, which meant that I could not actually see the message whatsoever. And so if I had to be interacting at the time and I was reading off the messages, well, unfortunately, it would just be a big freeze, right? And so the second part of what we're talking about today is not only what to expect, which evidently expect that things may go wrong, but also how you can handle these type of things, especially when you are on live, okay? So the good news is that we are able to see some of the messages back again now. Claudia from Hong Kong says, hi, man. Hi, Simon. Always looks good. Thank you very much. Gavin, how are you doing? New friend says, hey, mates, where are you guys from? What time is it where you are right now? Let me know so that we can actually get more involved. Okay, so following up to something that Dominic was asking earlier, I'm trying to click on the picture, click on the comment. There you go. Okay, Dominic says, I'm so glad that I caught you live. I have been trying to reach you through our other platforms. Awesome. So very cool that you're able to do so. And he's asking, what should I expect if I wanted to open an e-commerce store using affiliate programs? I think there might be a little bit of a mix-up in terms of terminology here. Affiliate programs as well as e-commerce are two completely different things. Affiliate program is the concept of promoting other people's products. Okay, e-commerce is when you have your own products that you might want to sell. Now, the only exception, if this is what you're talking about, is if you happen to be an affiliate for other e-commerce platforms, such as Amazon.com, for example, such as eBay, such as Lazada, Shopee, 11th Street, right? So many other kinds that I can't really think of right now, but there are plenty of other types of Q10 is another example of these what we call e-commerce platforms. And what can you expect? Well, if you're an affiliate, whether you're in e-commerce, this all boils down to affiliate marketing or internet marketing, right? Expect that you're not going to be able to get successful overnight, right? It's not an overnight success type of thing. Expect that you will need to put in the work. Expect to put in effort. Expect to put in time to learn the content. And one thing and one place that I absolutely expect all of you, if you want and recommend for you to continue on your education, especially for those of you, if you're like Dominic, joining us for the very first time and wanting to actually be a part of our community for the very first time, go to myinternetbuilder.com where you will learn more about e-commerce. You will learn more about affiliate marketing, and get this, you will absolutely get everything that I'm talking about for free. The most important being the platforms, right? The business opportunities, zero investments. And not only that, you will get education. You will get training. These are the types of content that other people are literally charging thousands and thousands and thousands for, both online as well as offline, and you would be able to get everything for free. Find out more by going to myinternetbuilder.com. And on that topic, maybe you want to connect more with me as well as some of my friends who are actually in the internet marketing insider circle, or the inner circle, if you will, as well as many people, if you're starting out, who may be just like you, right? They're trying to learn for the very first time. They're trying to figure out this whole affiliate marketing, e-commerce, digital business type of thing, right? Well, join the community. We are just getting started. Okay, we have no more than just maybe a little bit past 100 members so far, which means that we are in the beginning stages of doing something miraculous. Huge miracles are going to happen, and we want you to be one of the founders, so to speak. We want you to be first in the game, and we want you to be eventual leaders in our community. So now is the time for you to join. Right here, if you go to simonleon.com/mastermind, I invite you, just for being a part of our live show right here today and joining us on the show about nothing but everything and anything at the same time. I want to invite you to join me for free in this mastermind group, where we will talk to you more about internet marketing. Jeanette from Hong Kong, hello, Lei Homa. Okay, Gavin is saying that is Brisbane, Australia, 11:39 p.m. So you're just about 2 hours and about 20 minutes. Is that right? 2 hours and 20 minutes ahead of my time zone, which is a little bit difference for me. Usually it's like 1 hour ahead, 2 hours ahead, 3 hours ahead. This is probably one of the first times that I'm doing the math, and it's about, because it's 9:19 where I am and it's 11:39 where you are. So 2 hours and 20 minutes ahead of me, which is very, very cool. Dominic, okay, thank you for your response on that. He says awesome, and awesome to you again. Okay, so I'm clicking on this. It's supposed to show instantaneously, but again, expect the unexpected, right? Nothing always work out as you plan. So moving along and continuing on what we talked about, right? Life always gives us a curveball. You want to plan things out. You want to see what you can do. But at the end of the night, a lot of times things will be different, right? And that's why I say we got to expect that things will not always be as we have planned. So now that basically goes on to show us, right? Plan versus no plan. Does that mean that you shouldn't plan anything? Does that mean that anything that you plan will be completely worthless and useless? No, absolutely not, right? I think that as much as you can, you should still try and plan whatever you can. In 2017, right, 2017 was when we officially opened up our office in Penang. And of course, at that time, I had planned to continue to lease that office for the next 5 years, the next 10 years, because we had big plans. Not only did I want to do training, but I also wanted to create charities. I wanted to create social businesses. We wanted to go the HRDF route. We wanted to teach languages. We wanted to work with students. So that training room, so to speak, would have been very useful for us, not only in our business, but also when we do our charities, when we're reaching out to the young kids, when we're working with the corporations and the companies and things like that, right? Little did we know, 3 years later, 2020 would happen, and everything live, all the seminars, all the in-person classes, all the live courses, right? Everything would cease to exist, just boom, at a snap of the finger. Same thing, about 16 or 18 months to the day that we had actually opened up my Penang office. We opened up our KL office. We expanded our business. We expanded our reach because KL was yet another market. And so up until, like I said, March of this year, we continued for free to recommend a lot of the strategies. We taught a lot of different techniques and business models for absolutely free. Sure, we also had upgraded paid courses, which was absolutely not it was absolutely optional and not mandatory. But ultimately, again, we had very big plans on what we wanted to do for that business. Now, traditionally, of course, we need to make plans. If I didn't make the plan that I wanted to do these classes and expand to KL, there would be no business, right? I would have nobody whom I would be helping at the time. But of course, now I realize that all those plans, no matter how great they can be scrapped, right? Things that we cannot control, whether it's environmental, whether it's politics, whether it's in the entire environment of where we are, society as a whole, right? We're not able to do so many different things. All those airlines, are you saying that they made a mistake by creating an airline business? No, of course not. It was something that they had planned to do and were very successful in for very many years. Who would have known that 2020 would make such a big impact to so many successful businesses from all around the world, to the point where many of them have to go out of business, right? We see this in the news all the time. The clothing stores, the restaurants, the airlines, the hotels, all these multi-billion-dollar enterprises, right? Because of what's happening right now, that's affecting every single one of us. They are unfortunately going bankrupt, which means that they had to lay off, obviously, thousands and thousands of employees who expected to have this job until they retire, right? So in the end, not only for people like you and me, but for normal people who are employees, people who are businesses, even the successful people, they also came face to face with having to expect the unexpected. Another big example, right? Tony Robbins. He made an entire career, an entire business, built an entire brand off of doing live seminars. And he refused to have any of his content recorded. He refused to do live webinars. He refused to make sure that when he was doing his live events, that there were no professional crews who were recording the entire thing, right? Because that was his brand. He was a globetrotter. He was traveling around the world, and his thing was he was going to sell out no matter where he went, which third country he was in, which first country he was in, which small city or big city alike, right? He would still fill out every single seat in the thousands and thousands of chairs in the arenas. That was his whole deal, right? And I'm sure he had planned on doing that until the very end, until he decides to retire and never speak on another big stage again. But what happened, right? 2020 happened. And now everybody knows, right? He has had probably one of his biggest events yet, with something like 30,000 participants around the world. And he was live online, right? He also created a live online, just like what we're doing right now. So what's the moral of that story? Again, expecting the unexpected. I'm sure Tony Robbins also didn't expect that he would have to completely switch his business model around, right? Within a span of just a few months. Have that decision be made. But what happened? It turned out to be one of the most successful decisions of his life, right? One of his most successful events with the most amount of people all around the world. So what does that mean for us? It means that because life gives us curveballs, and despite everything that has already happened so far, it doesn't mean that it needs to be bad news for us. It doesn't mean that we have just been given the short end of the stick. It doesn't mean that all is doomed, right? See this as an opportunity for you to seek something new, to find a new path in your life, to see what you can do to take advantage of these times and do something that you never expected yourself ever to do and become better than ever. Okay? That's what you should expect. Expect that when things do not go as expected, that you in turn throw life a curveball as well. Give yourself a curveball and say, I'm going to take this opportunity to do something I've never done before, and I'm going to be the best version of me ever, right? And it's all because of the cards that's been dealt to me. Okay, here's another thing. Especially when now you're thinking, if I'm gonna start to explore new paths, right? Maybe I should also explore new technology. Maybe I should also go on live streams as well. And so, as I mentioned, technology, right? That's also something else that we need to expect in terms of expecting the unexpected. Earlier, I went through the comments, right? And I told you, oh, this was supposed to happen, but it didn't happen as planned. That is a sure sign, the absolute best example of what I can share with you, in that that actually was not something I expected. So expect that things will go wrong. Expect that technology is not going to work out as you planned. Expect that you cannot count on things to go as planned, things that you want to go the way that you planned on having them go, and expect that maybe even others will let you down, right? I've had this happen to me several times over the past few weeks, not only during these types of live streams, but I mentioned that over the 14-day Groovathon, right? I was actually expecting to count on some of my friends in the who's who, right? Some of them obviously higher level than others. But even when I said I'm expecting them to help, I'm expecting to see the opportunity, I'm expecting to be able to count on them, right? A lot of them kind of showed me their true colors, right? A lot of them showed to me and proved to me that I could not really count on them, right? A lot of them proved to me that before I even offered the opportunity, some of them before I even talked about the Groovathon, which you can learn more about at simonleon.com/Groovathon, right? They actually didn't even reply to a courtesy hi message, even though they've already read it, right? What kind of a friend are you if you're somebody who reads a message and don't even respond? Even worse, right? If you know that there's an opportunity and maybe a chance for you to do a favor for somebody, and you also don't respond. Why? Because you feel like there's nothing in it for you, right? You feel like maybe it's not in your best interest. If that's the case, great. Okay, I can respect that. But at least have the courtesy to respond and say, thank you very much, but maybe next time, right? Maybe this one I will have to pass. Maybe it's not so suitable for me, whatever, right? You can make an excuse that absolutely doesn't make sense whatsoever, and that is fine. At least you have the courtesy to respond, right? But some of them, they didn't respond at all, as if I've never existed, as if I'm trying to borrow money from them, or asking for some type of huge favor, right? So that's one of the things that was surprising to me. I did not expect, after over 10 years of friendship with some of them, that they would be so selfish and thinking only about themselves. And maybe because if they didn't respond, it make them feel better about themselves. Maybe it make them feel cooler, right? Like a better person. I don't know, right? Whatever reason they have for themselves, fine and dandy. I don't care. But the point is, there's a lot of things that we cannot depend on, whether it's people, whether it's technology, or whatever else. Now, before I continue on, let's go ahead and take a look at some of these additional comments that are coming in. By the way, thank you very much for letting me know that you are here, because nothing is more awkward for an introvert than to think and know that you are talking to yourself for the past 30 minutes. Nobody is watching you. Nobody's looking at you. Nobody's interacting. And so it's great to know that you're actually here, that you're reacting to things that I'm saying. And so thank you very much for that. Janice is asking, was it internetbuilder.com? It was not internetbuilder.com. In fact, you can rewind at any time if you need to see what you have missed, especially if you're on YouTube. You can just click on the back arrow button. But this was what you missed. It was myinternetbuilder.com. So for those of you who are just joining us, we invite you to go to myinternetbuilder.com if you want to learn more about how you can be a part of our community with free lifetime access to training, to support, to community access, as well as internet marketing tools, right? I'm very bad at pronunciating names. So Jelan, forgive me if I pronounce your name wrong. She says, hi, thank you for coming by. I think this might be the first time that we have interacted. So congratulations for joining us. And we look forward to you joining us in more future shows as well. Christina is saying, hi, brother. Big thumbs up for you. Thank you very much. Gavin is saying spot on. Change is inevitable, except in poker machines, right? I was not aware that there are poker machines. I know about the poker card game, but maybe, well, I guess when you're playing games online or something like that. There it is, right? Okay, Dominic is saying, please accept me to your group. I just signed up. Definitely looking forward to speak with you. I have an unbelievable idea and will need your help. Excited. Okay. Janice says, pity that you can't see us. I concur. I absolutely concur, because unlike Zoom, right, where you can actually see people, obviously, if you also turn on your camera, it's a lot better and a lot easier for me to interact. I can just say, hey, I can see you. Can you hear me? Fine and Danny, very good. All right, if you can hear me, give me a big thumbs up, right? Or 2 thumbs up. And I can actually see you giving me a thumbs up. And it's just a lot easier in terms of having that conversation, right? But of course, now there's a 20 to 30 second delay. Anytime I say something in real time, you're not going to get to see this on your screen for another 20 to 30 seconds. That's why it's also a little bit awkward, because sometimes when I see the messages come in, you're talking about things that I talked at least 30 seconds ago, or if I don't see it until minutes later, it's something that I talked about minutes ago, right? And so I completely forget what I was talking about at that time. But unfortunately, like we said, right, expect the unexpected. We just simply have to make do with what we can. All right, so moving on with what else to expect. Number one, well, it's not really number one. Expect to make mistakes, because you're on live, right? And for me, I lose my train of thoughts so often. I have what we call type 2 ADD, attention deficit disorder. I have many screens in front of me, comments, personal messages, Skype, and everything. Yes, I still use Skype because that's how a few of my teams communicate. But that just means I have so much going on in front of me that a lot of times I just kind of lose my train of thought. But so it's not number one, but it is one of the numbers. And the reason why I said number one is because in my notes, I put number of people. So I get distracted very, very easily. One thing that you will learn very quickly about me, right? Especially if you saw any of my live previously, and if you continue to watch them, you will see that my mind kind of goes like a million miles an hour. I just have so many things that I want to say all at the same time. I'm thinking everything, but obviously my mouth is not cooperating. So unfortunately, until we exceed the technology of being able to communicate telepathically or whatever else, we'll just have to make do with what we have. So the number of people, how many people should we expect? I will tell you, when I first started doing these lives, I did not even expect one person. I expected people to watch me in the replays, sure, because I was multicasting. I was doing simul broadcasting among many different platforms. And I knew that my Facebook, for example, I was in what we called Facebook jail. Facebook wasn't actually taking my content, my posts, my photos. Anytime I post something, only a very small handful of people would ever get to see them. Right. So I wasn't even expecting that a lot of people would start seeing my posts, but I did post across a lot of the different pages and groups and personal profiles within my Facebook account. And so I expected maybe that eventually people will come across the replays as soon as people start commenting on them, start liking them, interacting, whatever else. And so that, again, reminds me of something else. If you are watching me, please do me a favor, like, okay, leave comments. Let me know that you are here. Let me know that I'm making sense, I'm not making sense. Let me know if you have any questions and things like that. The more engagement, the more interaction, the more popularity the videos are gonna get, right? So it doesn't matter if you're on YouTube or if you're on Twitch, if you're on Facebook, my profile, my pages, whatever, right? Definitely do what you can to interact, and that would be really, really cool. So I did not expect that a lot of people was going to join. And lo and behold, I was actually surprised that within moments of me clicking on the go live button, we started to see people coming in, and they started commenting, and they started saying hi. And that was all very cool because it was something that I didn't expect, right? Expecting the unexpected. And so this will be an example of something positive, something cool that I was actually expecting. But here's the thing. It doesn't happen every time, right? The first time was really cool. The second time was really cool. The first time, the moment I clicked on go live, people started watching. I see the numbers go up in terms of the number of views. I see the comments coming in. And so I start to expect that on my third or fourth one. Now, keep in mind, of course, I'm on at different times during the day. So by no means should I expect the same people to show up, because it might be, noontime one day, and then the next day it'll be around midnight already. So we can't really expect the same people to show up, especially if I go on in different time zones trying to accommodate for different people as well. But of course, having seen those numbers previously, a part of me was either expecting or hoping that the comments would start to come in pretty immediately as well, right? Again, either my third time or my fourth time, that didn't happen. Right? I was actually on for maybe 5 or 10 minutes, even longer, before a significant amount of people actually commented to the point where I could actually go back and say, okay, now I can start interacting with you, right? And so when I expected that I was going to be able to interact right away, I was not prepared. I did not plan for a 10-minute monologue to talk about something, because I expected that I was going to start talking to you almost immediately, right? And so when that happened, on the spot, I had to say to myself, okay, now I have to come up with something to say for the next 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20, 30 minutes if necessary, if nobody is ever going to show up, right? And nobody is going to comment and nobody is going to interact, right? And so sometimes planning ahead can be a good thing, because when you expect the unexpected, things that you don't expect to happen, but you're prepared for it, you have a backup, well, that's going to be a lot less awkward, right? And this will go into how we will deal with different kinds of things that may go wrong, which we'll talk more about in just a moment. But along the same lines of the number of people who will show up, that will also dictate the amount of interaction that you will get. That's why I never plan for how long my live streams are going to be. I don't plan that it's going to be 60 minutes every time, or 30 minutes, or 2 hours, because how long it goes also depends on how many people actually interact. And not only that, but how interactive every person who interacts actually is. What do I mean? Like, do they only come in and they say hi once and they disappear for the rest of the stream? Or do they continue to comment, continue to respond, continue to be a big part of the entire conversation? Case in point, the last few days, we had people like Jessica, right? Or Janice, who's also on this one. And yesterday, Tom Beal also showed up on the stream, and we went back and forth a few times. And when you start also communicating with one another, right? You start responding to things that I say. Like I was talking about how I was at the seminar in San Antonio, Texas. And Tom was like, yep, that was the seminar that we met, right? And then Asher showed up his booklet of one of the products that Tom Beal did along with Mike Vilsame. And then Tom replied to that in the comments as well. I was like, oh yeah, that's so awesome. That's our product, or whatever else. And it just became a spiral of conversation. Okay. So again, this is something that we cannot predict. How do I know if people will interact? How do I know if people are going to be here and they're going to ask questions and they're going to be interactive and they're going to comment and make it as fun as it was like yesterday or the first couple of sessions, right? A lot of times we don't know. It also depends on what you say. Maybe if you say hi, then I just say hi back and that's it, right? But if it was Tom yesterday and he was talking about how important it was for us to network, right? How important it was for us to go to seminars. Well, I went off on a tangent and I talked about my entire story, right? On why it's important for you to go to seminars and meet the right people and be a part of the Groove community, because you get to meet all these different people who normally were untouchable, right? So depending on what you say as well, that will also dictate where I will go with my stories and how far off of a tangent I will go as well, right? So with all of that, I believe that, a lot of things cannot be planned whatsoever. But of course, I highly recommend that you plan as much as possible, because when it comes to different types of things, we want to make sure that we can do as much as we can. All right. So moving on next. Who is actually going to show up? Well, again, for my very first one, I wasn't even expecting anyone to show up, much less people of significance. But of course, that very first event, that live event that I did, who showed up but the one and the only Gary Ambrose, right? If you don't know who Gary Ambrose is, Google him. He is one of the definitely veterans of internet marketing. I also met him at my very first seminar in San Antonio, Texas. And at the time, he was already a big time guru as well already. And so definitely a very cool surprise. We obviously became good friends. I ended up speaking at some of his seminars, and we were JV partners on a few projects as well. As time went on, and as I did more live streams and things like that, we had people like Tom Beal, I just mentioned, to show up, right? He showed up yesterday. Coach Deb also showed up. David Kavanaugh, people like Ken MacArthur, Harris Feldman, Henry Gold, Asher Al, who ended up being my guest yesterday, right? All these people, they also ended up showing up on the live stream and interacting and commenting as well, being VIPs, being VIP status the way that they are. It was obviously a very nice surprise that they show up, but they did nonetheless. And that's why, we can't really expect to plan all these different things. Then that also goes into the kind of interaction that you will get, right? I believe it was on my second live stream. I talked about how it might be possible that not necessarily everybody who tunes into you are going to be your fans, who want to say hi, who have good intentions. I had people who were haters. I had people who were trolls. I had people who were leaving negative comments. If you want to learn more about that, you can go ahead and watch my second live stream, which all of them are archived right now. If you go to youtube.com/Simon Leung, you will actually be able to see the live streams that I have done for the past 5 days. And I believe it was the second one that I did, which talked about these trolls, these haters, right? You can't predict who's going to show up. You can't predict what kind of interaction you're going to get. You can't predict what those people are actually going to say to you, right? So now this goes into our topic. It transitions into what you can do about it. For many people, they would probably freak out, right? They would say, oh my gosh, I have all these people who are saying bad things about me. What should I do, right? Quick, I need some help. And you call up your friends, or maybe you go to all of your various platforms as quickly as you can. You try to hide and delete and block those people. I did none of that. In fact, if it were to happen again, I would just, as I did in my second live stream, I would just address it. But only if you are confident and you know that you have nothing except the best possible intentions for everyone who is watching you. You're not trying to scam them like what some people may be trying to accuse you of. You're not trying to sell them anything like what some people would be trying to accuse you of. You have good intentions and you simply want to help as many people as possible, unlike what some people would be trying to accuse you of, trying to defame you, trying to ruin your reputation, right? Trying to defame your character, right? There are evil people out there who will try and do these kinds of things. The only question, right, is not how can I stop them? You can't stop them. It's like asking how can I stop people from using my copyrighted content and using it as their own? How can I stop people from using my YouTube videos that I work so hard on, stop them from downloading and uploading them onto their own YouTube channels as if it's their own? You can't control what they do, right? You're not going to be their mom, their dad. You're not going to breathe behind their neck and say, no, you cannot do that, right? There are simply some things in life that you cannot control. You cannot control if people are going to hate you. You cannot control if people are going to try and say bad things about you. You're not going to be able to control when people use your content and try to pass it off as your own. There are things that you simply cannot control. The one thing that you can control is how you will deal with it, right? How you will handle it. And when you go back to youtube.com/Simon Liang and watch some of my older live streams that I did a few days ago, including the second one where I talked about defamation and how I handled my defamer, where I talked about how I handled these people who were on live. And instead of hiding and saying, oh my gosh, I hope that people won't find out about this, I addressed it. I told you, revealed exactly what this person says, and I legitimately defended my stance. Why this person wasn't making any sense. Why this person, just like all the other haters and trolls out there who don't have anything better to do, right? Why they would try and come after you for no good reason other than maybe jealousy or wanting to simply feel better about themselves because they themselves have low self-esteem or whatever else, right? You don't have to scoop down to their level. In fact, I don't even reveal who they are. Their identities are quote unquote safe because I will not scoop down to their level. I will not reveal who they are. I will not break the law, just like what these people are doing or have done and probably will continue to do, because common sense is not so common. People think it's okay to do things like this. They think it's okay to make fun of other people. They think it's okay to call people fat and old and ugly and whatever else. And to them, it's fine because it makes them feel better about themselves. I'm not here to judge. Maybe we just have different cultural backgrounds. Maybe I was just raised differently, okay? Maybe I just have different morals. Who knows? Who cares, right? Whatever you believe in, whatever they believe in, it's fine as long as it doesn't affect me. But if you try and directly attack me to the point where it does go out of line, out of bounds, and you cross that mark, okay, then don't mind me, okay, if I actually have to say something about it. And in this case, I did, okay? And again, if you go back to my YouTube channel and see that particular video, you will see how I handle different types of situations when people are trying to attack you, when they are trying to say bad things about you, and what you should ultimately do. All right, so that basically goes into the kind of interaction that you will have. Again, some people will love you, some people will hate you, and as much as I want to interact, okay, and I understand also, not every single one of us necessarily here want to be live streamers. That's fine, right? Some of you may eventually want to do live events or conduct live meetings. You know, some things in life that we cannot actually escape is eventually things may go back to normal, whether in your career path, whether in your life, in your personal well-being, or whether in your business, in whatever you plan to do later on down the line, right? We will need to see people again, right? We will need to have meetings again. Maybe you need to present something. Maybe you need to talk to somebody. Maybe you need to do sales or whatever, right? Some things in life we simply cannot escape. So very similar to live stream, a lot of what you say, a lot of what you handle, a lot of how you handle yourself are going to depend on how the other people that you are talking to, how they're handling the situation as well. So for example, for me, I'm saying, well, if you're not going to talk to me, I will have no idea what I'm going to say. And if I have nothing planned, then this live stream will be over in 5 minutes max, right? We won't even cross the 10-minute mark, including the hello, including the how do you do, including the closing, including my attempts to interact and tell you to please leave a comment or whatever else. If nothing is happening, the conversation ends, right? There's nothing else to talk about. So the interaction, are people gonna be quiet, right? Is there gonna be no interaction whatsoever? What if people don't listen to you along the way? Just like one of those people who was saying bad things about me, right? One of the things that she said was, you should not use this as a method to make money. And if she had listened to what I said, I definitely, legitimately, directly said, this is free. Okay, I said I'm not selling anything. In fact, I have nothing to sell you. I don't even have anything to sell you, even if I wanted to. Yet she was trying to judge me on me going live as a way of doing business. So either one of two things, right? They're not listening to you, or they don't understand the language. I'm probably thinking because they typed to me in Chinese, they didn't understand the language, or maybe even the little bit that they did understand, they also chose to have it go in one ear and out the other, right? That's the truth. People won't listen to you. And especially, I'm probably going to say, when we are doing live streams like this, that's actually a good thing that I cannot see you, right? Because if you happen to be doing something else, you're looking off into space, you're looking down at your phone and you're typing away, which, by the way, when I do my live events, right? I don't know if people don't know that I can see them, but when they're not paying attention, right? They don't even try to hide it. They're looking down. They're playing on their phones. You can tell that they're playing games or typing away, or they're just doodling on the paper, on their desk, or whatever else. They're not even trying, right? So when you have situations like that, where people for no apparent reason decide that they're not going to listen to you, they're going to distract you. And even worse, when you're in person and they're sitting next to each other and they're talking, they're whispering, right? They don't even, some people just flat out talk, right? The phone rings, Wei, gama, they don't even have the respect or the courtesy to go outside or whatever else and try to take the call, right? They just simply take the call right there in front of everybody. And I have to actually sit there or stand there and stare at them until they notice and get the hints that we are waiting for that one person to finish because they are being a distraction. Some people, when they're next to each other, they start talking to each other. Some people, right, maybe a little bit trying to be respectful, I don't know. They're whispering, but they don't know that because our room is quite small, even the sound of the whispers, even though we can't hear the words you're saying, this is like ASMR stuff, right? We can still hear that. And yes, that is still distracting. Okay, so that's why we say it's not just live streams. When you do live events, you have live meetings, you're at seminars, you're talking to people, these distractions will also happen. So what do? People will come in late, right? People will leave early. Whether live or in person or doing the streaming, it's the exact same thing. You see the numbers go up, you see the numbers go down. And I will tell you, when I used to do the train the trainer trainings, where I teach my own students, my proteges, my Insider Club team members, how to become speakers, right? One of the biggest distractions that people simply cannot handle is when people leave in the middle of the presentation, right? And it's going to happen, whether it's because they're short on time, they have nothing but the best intentions, but they really have to go, right? You can't control that. Some people, they lost interest. Some people are just rude, right? You also get a lot of those as well. But one thing that doesn't change is that you, as the speaker, seeing the people walk out of the room, right? You on the live stream, seeing that there were 20 people and it dropped down to 18 people and it dropped down to 15 people and now we're under 10 people, too many people, right? That's also going to be distracting. And I have seen the faces of those who don't know any better. They're trying to do the presentation. They're trying to sell, right? They're trying to provide value. They're trying to do their live demos or whatever else. But as people walk out the room, they look up. They look up, right? They start to say a few things, and then they start to stutter, and then the ahs and the ums and the pauses come in because they see more people leave, to the point where when more people leave, right, you start staring at them, speechless. And the more you do that, the more people are going to leave, right? Because the more that they see that you are not professional, the more that they see that you cannot handle those type of situations, the more that they don't want to listen to you. So what can you do? Here's the fact of the matter. You will get people who will want to leave early. You will get people who do not want to listen to you. You will get people who are haters, right? People who get angry with you for no apparent reason. People who will hate you for no apparent reason. Drop by just and try and ruin your day. What you need to do is you need to do, and you need to practice, and you need to master what we call the poker face. Pretend it's not even happening. Pretend that you're looking through all of them. Pretend that they're not leaving. Pretend that there was nobody there in the first place, right? Pretend that you're simply going to be speaking to yourself. When you're on live stream, when you're in live person, pretend that you're simply going to be speaking for yourself. So that when people come, that's just the bonus. And when people go, you do not lose anything whatsoever, right? That's probably a lot easier said than done, especially when you're in situations like this. And I'll give you some more, let's just say, more extreme examples. What if there are people who are, let's say, online, who are evidently just being keyboard warriors, saying you suck, they start swearing at you, and they keep typing and distracting you with all these type of messages, right? That hasn't happened to me yet. I expect that it might, right? Because there are these kinds of people out there. But I will tell you, at live events, I've had people who do not listen to what I say, right? I tell them to, let's say, for interaction purposes, say yes, right? Can you hear me? Where are you from? Or whatever. Are you excited? Say yes. Raise your hand. How many of you want freedom, right? Say freedom, right? People simply choose not to interact. Do you want to learn how to build an online business? Nobody raises their hand, right? I said, well, if you don't want to learn how to build an online business, you are in the wrong room. Why are you here? So let me ask you again. Do you want to build a business? If you do, raise your hand. Still, they don't raise their hand, right? Why? Because it makes them feel cooler that they're not interacting. It makes them feel like a rebel. Makes them feel like they're better than me, right? I don't know. Maybe they have that ego, maybe they're shy, whatever else. But as the speaker, as the person who is actually saying that, it's easy for you to get distracted. And so if you're professional, push it aside, right? You just make a joke out of it. I talked about how I make self-deprecating jokes, right? Oh, yeah, maybe you're just not understanding what I'm saying, ha, ha, ha. Or maybe you're just not interested in what I'm saying, ha, ha, ha. Whatever, right? And then move on. I've also had people where, of course, when I do my presentations, I have my slides, I have my content. Every single one of my slides, I say it's copyrighted information, right? Of course it's copyrighted. It's not supposed to go outside of this room. And I explain it to them in the most respectful way possible, right? Because I value you and I want to make sure that you are rewarded for being here, right? As opposed to the thousands of other people outside of this room who are not here. I want to reward you for being here so that the content that I see, that you see on the screen that I'm showing you right now, I don't want this information to go outside of this room, right? So it would be highly appreciated if all of you will also make sure that you cooperate, right? Take as much notes as you need to, right? But please don't take any photos. Because again, we want to respect the copyrights and we don't want this information to get leaked out, right? And then there's some people who do not listen, right? They don't listen. And I have to repeat that a few times to the entire room being generic, not addressing anybody, saying that this is copyrighted information, until in one situation, the guy very blatantly just continued to do this, and I had to stare at him. And I had to say, sir, this is copyrighted information. Please do not take any photos, right? And at that point, he turned the camera from the screen to me, okay? Not that I'm afraid of being photographed, right? But that was a blatant sign of direct disrespect, right? He's like, I do not give a crap. I'm going to take pictures, and I'm going to take pictures of you, whether you like it or not, right? That's pretty much what he's saying, right? And so at that point, I had to address him directly, right? Sir, you're no longer welcome here because you're evidently very disrespectful. And I had members of my team to escort him out. Of course, he took the piece of paper and then crumbled it, and then he tried to throw it at me, and I just blocked it away. And I did not address him, right? Very easily, I could have just talked smack to him. I could have just very easily just said bad things like, you're so disrespectful, you're so immature, get out, you're not welcome back ever again. No, immediately, I addressed back the room again. And I said, and this is what happens, folks, when you do these live events. You will have no idea who's going to show up. Some people who are respectful and courteous and responsible, like all of you, will show up, but then there will be some people who don't have any mindset or positive attitude, and they simply want to cause trouble just because they feel like they're cool, just like some people that we know, and we're not going to name any names, okay? All this happening while this person is getting escorted out. So those are the two ways that you can handle things, right? Either you do it professionally, or you can just be a slime ball and just lose your cool and just say that, yeah, get out, you suck, you're not welcome back, kick this person out, whatever, blah, 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 right? I don't recommend doing that. But when obviously we say the best way for you to handle it, not only for your own sanity, because now you know, right? I know how to handle all these negativity in my life, and I'm just going to focus on the positivity. I'm going to meditate all the negative energy outside of the room, and I'm just going to focus on all the good stuff, right? Now, you're doing yourself a favor, and your own, not only your own perception, you feel better about yourself, but everyone who is watching, right? They will have more respect for you. Okay, so at the end of the day, yeah, do what is respectful, do what is professional. Going back to that example of the defamation case, right? People say, yeah, just ignore people, just ignore the negativity when they're saying bad things about you is because they have nothing better to do with their lives or whatever else, right? Of course, I know this. I'm mature, right? I'm professional. I know how to handle things. That's why I said absolutely nothing when that person defamed me. I said absolutely nothing for months, even years, close to actually 2 years to be exact. I said absolutely nothing, even though that person continued to say things behind my back, because I believed that it would just be a waste of breath, right? Of course, at the time, those who don't know any better, they believed this person. Even people whom I expected to be my friends, they decided not to seek out the truth and went against me just because of what this one person says. So that goes back to what we talked about before, right? Expect the unexpected. I expected more from people. I expected that people would think. I expected that people would be smart about not believing these blatant lies that were so ridiculous that they made absolutely zero sense. And if, by the way, you want to learn more about that and more about that case, right? Feel free to do so. Go to simonleon.com/defamation case, as well as simonleon.com/defamation. Again, I am as transparent with you as I can be. For most people, they're like, oh my gosh, right? Like this person, oh my gosh, people are talking about me. I better hide. I better make sure that this goes off of the internet, blah, blah. I say no, whatever. I blatantly tell you up front, I ignored this person for over 2 years until this person crossed the line. This person involved my family. This person took pictures from my online profiles, right? And they had red ink and had pictures of my kid, right? They had pictures of my family, right? They crossed the line. to the point where I could not stay silent anymore. And that's why when you go to these sites, you will see that, yeah, I actually was completely silent from 2016 when it first started up until 2018 when they finally crossed the line, and I uploaded that first video for the very first time and made a series out of it addressing every single piece of lie that, of course, if you actually think for just a moment, you would actually know that none of it make any sense whatsoever. Okay, so again, if you just simply go to that page, or if you go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Simon Leung, you will actually see, times when maybe there will be times that you need to take off that poker face and expect unexpectedly that you will need to continue on with what you need to do in order for you to live the more legitimate lifestyle. Okay, so going back to some of our comments, Alex is back. Welcome back. He's saying hi. Janice is saying a good quote from the movie Forrest Gump: life is like a box of chocolates, you never know what you're gonna get. Right? Very cool. Forrest Gump, awesome movie. I'm just thinking of some of the things that you're referring to, and it's absolutely true, right? Forrest Gump is definitely somebody that we should look up to, just because of the way that he lives his life, the way that he handles a lot of the negativity in his life. I think that he's just a very positive person. A lot of things that we can learn from this awesome character. Dominic is asking, what do you recommend? And this is exactly what I'm talking about when I say I go back to the comments, and apparently at the 9:49 p.m. and 25-second mark was when this message was left. Apparently around that time, I was talking about something, and Dominic is asking me, what do I recommend? I have no idea, Dominic, what I was talking about at that time. If you have time, write another comment to let me know, elaborate on what you mean by what do I recommend, and I will be more than happy to answer that for you. Alex is saying absolutely true. KK Lee is saying, yes, we can't stop hater from defaming us. Just highlight and address our main goal and objective. This negative comment makes us better and stronger person. Thumbs up. Yeah, I would say every single experience, definitely I was able to learn something from it. And being, I don't know, quote unquote, and for the lack of better terms, right? Being in the public eye. Not so much, I'm not saying that I'm a mega celebrity or whatever else. I'm not, right? But at the same time, I can probably say there are some people, maybe not a lot, but there are some people who maybe look up to me, right? Or maybe come to me for advice, or maybe will see me as a role model, how I act and how I react to things. It's gonna be a big breaker, right? In terms of how this person will handle things in their life. And so for me, I know that with this power also comes great responsibility. I cannot just simply try and say bad things and swear, say bad words, and handle things really negatively. Any situation that I can, right? At any time that I'm able to control it, I always want to be as positive as possible, because I know that people are watching. I know that I'm a role model. I know that maybe people who are younger, right? Maybe even some people who are older than me. Age doesn't matter, right? But those who are looking to improve themselves and maybe for whatever reason decided that they're going to look at me as one of their role models, I have a responsibility of acting responsible, right? I have a responsibility of choosing and acting and reacting in the right way, doing the right things. Okay. And so that's the way that I choose to live my life. And KK Lee, you are absolutely right. We can't stop other people from being a bad person. We can't stop other people from doing all the wrong things, but we can control how we can handle these situations. Dominic is now asking, do you recommend using a site like Magneto to set up everything? There are already set up stores for sale as well, or just start from scratch? If you're talking about e-commerce or regular website, I will tell you I do not use Magneto. I believe I addressed this earlier in this stream. The only tool that I would recommend, and the only tool that you would hear me recommend, is this tool right here. Okay, it's called myinternetbuilder.com. And like I said, I am always transparent with you. This is not my tool. It is an affiliate link to the GrooveFunnels tool platform. Okay, so earlier I talked about the 14-day Groovathon, more specifically the Groove at Night, which I was hosting, which you can find at simonleon.com/Groovathon. This is the actual company that ran this event and the company that owns the tool that I recommend. If you go to myinternetbuilder.com, right, and you sign up even for free with my affiliate link, you will also see that they as well will help you to build a website because it is a free website builder. You will also see that they also have templates because they also do e-commerce as well. They also have an e-commerce platform, in fact, that you can also use for free. And they have a lot of other templates that you can use to build whatever kind of websites that you want. Again, full transparency, right? Yes, you can get started for free, but there is also an opportunity for you to upgrade if you feel optionally that this is something that is suitable for you. So when you go to myinternetbuilder.com, click on the link that takes you to the page that will help you to find the form to register. After you register for the form, which will give you the free lifetime account, you will see what we call a one-time offer for you to upgrade optionally. Watch that video, okay, from the CEO and co-founder, Mr. Mike Filsame. He will explain to you how you can get started for free, absolutely zero today. If you want to take that free lifetime account for a spin, and you can even choose to have the upgraded version for 14 days with no credit card required, and you will still be able to test out if this is something for you. Okay, so again, Dominic, to answer your question, what do you recommend as a site? I do not, the reason why I do not say that I recommend Magneto, right? Not to be confused with I do not recommend Magneto. That's a mouthful there. I'm not saying I don't recommend it. I'm saying that I do not have a recommendation for it because I don't use it. I don't know, right? I'm not familiar with the product. The only one that I use, of course, is the one that I just talked to you about, which is, of course, myinternetbuilder.com, my affiliate link for GrooveFunnels. So if you have not signed up for that yet, I recommend that you do it. All right. Where are we now? Kiki Lee says, the more haters, the more famous you are, probably because the more people who will know to hate you, right? I definitely see that over the years, the number of haters I personally got have continued to increase. Why not, right? Because I don't know, more and more people just have nothing better to do. Jasvinder says, hello, bro. How are you doing? Thank you for joining us. If I am not mistaken, probably this is the first time that you are joining us in one of our live streams live in person as well. So very, very cool that you have joined us from YouTube. Thank you very much. Make sure to subscribe, click that bell to join us often. Irene from Singapore, she says, hello, long time no see. Irene was one of my students. I don't even remember the year, 2010, 2011, maybe, when I was conducting courses in Singapore. And of course, we are able to keep in touch all this time. She's since become not only a successful entrepreneur, I think she used to be a flight attendant as well, right? I don't know what your situation now is with all the flights not flying and things like that, but I see you on your YouTube and your live and things like that with your brand new character. If you are still around, I don't know if you're still around, but if you want to plug your YouTube channel, definitely feel free to do so. We're very free, okay? Let us know what it is so that our friends can follow you. They can watch you. It's very funny. I think it's something like, I don't remember, something like Daiso or something. I don't remember, but it's a very funny character where she's got like a big mole. She's like a little auntie or something like that. And she talks like a, is it like a Singaporean, auntie, whatever. Like it's very funny. I highly recommend that you do so. Irene, if you're still around, definitely leave your channel so that we can follow you and watch more. Jody says, hi, Simon. Always great value from your words. Thank you very much, Jody. Appreciates your comment. Dominic says, thank you for answering. I will definitely sign up. Cool Experience from TikTok says, hey, so I want to make TikTok compilation videos. If I add voiceovers to all my videos, will I get my channel monetized? Okay, so there's one thing that we all need to understand about the word monetize or monetization and everything else. Everybody thinks that when you talk about monetization, the only way that you can make money with YouTube is with YouTube ads. That's not true, okay? So if you're thinking about if I can make money, get my YouTube videos monetized by doing this with TikTok, doing voiceovers, yeah, TikTok videos, compilation videos, whatever videos, you can use these videos to monetize them in however ways that you want. No problem, okay? Learn about affiliate marketing, learn about e-commerce, learn how to start your own business. YouTube ads is not the only way that you're able to make money with YouTube videos, okay? So, which goes to show, if you go to myinternetbuilder.com, or if you want to join my community, okay, my free mastermind group of simonleon.com/mastermind, we will teach you more about all these different things, from affiliate marketing to e-commerce to different other ways that you will be making money or can make money with things like YouTube videos, with TikTok videos, with whatever, even blogs and websites or whatever else. Right? And you will be able to learn how you can make money in a wide variety of ways for absolutely free, because again, this is the type of value that we are sharing with you. So if you want to do that with TikTok videos, with or without doing your own voiceovers, right? The first thing that you need to do is to make sure that you understand the terminology, you understand the business models, and you understand exactly what you need to do in order for you to monetize. All right. That was from Cool Experiments. Chris Unknown is saying, hey, I've got you on the live this time around. What's the topic of the day? We've been going on, Mr. Chris, for a little bit over an hour now. The main topic, actually, I think this is not the first time you've asked me what the topic is. Usually, you can actually see what the planned topic is from the title of the video. Okay, so that will help you in the future. If you're wondering what we're talking about, I usually put the planned topic directly in the video so that we can actually have some type of a direction on where we want the conversation to go. But the reason why I emphasize planned is because usually, as the title of the day says, right, what to expect when you go live, expect the unexpected, which means that even though we plan on a particular topic, sometimes we do go off on tangents, depending on where the conversation takes us, depending on whoever might want to show up and say hi, might want to join me on the screen. Like yesterday, when my friend Asher joined me for a cool 2-hour chat. It depends on who is also on the live stream interacting, what kinds of questions you're asking, right? So even though we're talking about what to expect, the thing is, you should expect the unexpected. You should expect that whatever you plan may not always go as planned, because you will have people asking about TikTok. You will have people asking about monetization. You have people talking about YouTube channels and things like that, right? So we expect just a free flow of ideas. We expect that we're just going to take where the conversation takes us. And so in terms of things like expecting the unexpected and what to expect when you go live, whether it's live streaming, multi-streaming on seminars, events, or meetings or whatever, I think we covered a lot of that already during the first 30 minutes to 45 minutes or whatever else. But regardless, whatever the case, you're always welcome to come in, right? Change the topic if you want to, right? And talk about something else, because this is exactly what we're all about. We're an open book, right? I'm not hiding, obviously, behind anything. I'm reading the questions. And if you happen to have different questions, or maybe, you know, I'll even click on something from a hater one of these days, because these things happen live, right? And so you can't really expect all these type of things. So Cool Experiment is saying, what if I want to make TikTok compilation on YouTube, but with only ad revenue? You can do that, right? But as I also mentioned, I don't want things to go out of topic. Go to my mastermind group. ask your questions there, or maybe wait until we actually have a topic at hand that is directly talking about that particular one, because we do not want everybody who is on the stream, whether watching live or on the replay, watch me, right, direct one person and help one person, and really just have a one-sided, one-way conversation with one individual when everybody else is all watching at the same time, right? So, but to hopefully wrap this thing around, what if you want to make a TikTok compilation on YouTube with ad revenue? The quick answer is yes, you can do it. In fact, if you go back to my YouTube channel, okay, which is youtube.com/Simon Leung, and take a look at some of my older videos. I think probably last year by now, maybe some from this year as well. Actually, there were probably a few different ones. One was on Chinese New Year, one was before that. You will actually see some videos where I do talk about TikTok compilations. Funny enough, where it will show you that yes, it is possible for you to monetize. Other people are doing it, and so can you. All right, Chris is saying true, but you flipped the topic. We always flip topics because, hey, I have attention deficit disorder, right? And I change topics depending on what I'm talking about, what you're talking about, on who shows up, and everything along those lines. So it's always a great opportunity for us to connect. All right. As we wind down, because we've been on this for close to 90 minutes already, I believe. Okay, unfortunately on Restream, I'm not able to see a countdown timer on how long I've been on, or it's not really called a countdown timer. Countdown timer goes backwards, right? A regular timer that shows me how long I've been on. And so I don't really know exactly how long this has been going live. Some of the other streaming services actually has that, and so that's actually a lot more preferable if you ask me. But as we continue to wind down, I would encourage you, of course, your last opportunities to interact with me live. If you're still around, ask questions, say hi, leave a comment. Let me know if you're interested to learn about something else, have suggestions or recommendations on future live streams. If you yourself want to be on live with me and you have topic ideas on what you want to share about and spread value to other people as well, we basically make this an open platform for whoever wants to contribute different ideas or concepts and just make it a fun place for all of us. Okay, so let's leave the last few minutes for any one of you who might still be watching to do that, and we will address you. But at the very end of the day, right, let's kind of wrap up what our main planned topic was supposed to be, what to expect when you go live. And this actually has to do with not only live streaming, like what we're doing now, but also multi-streaming across different platforms. When you do live in-person seminars, live events, and live meetings, a lot of times you simply just cannot predict what's going to happen. You don't know who's going to show up. You don't know what people are going to say. You don't know if technology is going to fail you, right? We've had live events where I'm supposed to actually do a presentation with an actual class, and my office, the electricity was not even on. And at the last possible moment, we had to rush to locate another alternate venue, and lucky enough we found one down the street at that point in time. So there's a lot of things that will happen that are unplanned, you know, things that you will never know that will go wrong at the worst possible moment, the worst possible time, and when you least expect it, right? So that's what we mean by expecting the unexpected. But not only that, when the unexpected happen, you also need to know how to deal with it. How are you going to handle it? Are you going to handle it professionally, right? Are you going to let what is happening around you affect you? The bad actions, the negativity of other people negatively also affect and impact you, right? All of these things you can control, but only if you work towards controlling that. Only if you mindfully decide that you are going to make that happen for yourself. Okay. And so as we continue to wrap up, Okay, let's answer just this one last question that we see from Chris. He's asking, how much of a delay do you think there is with the live? Just saw you speak out your link as you type, but the link was there already. I'm not sure what you really mean by that. There is a possible delay because I'm using a service that then goes out and streams to multiple platforms, whether it's YouTube or Facebook or Twitch or whatever else. Okay, so usually there is a 20 or 30 minute, not minute, 20 or 30 minute delay when I say something and then you actually hear it, and that's why a lot of times I see these comments and then they were written about 20 or 30 seconds ago and have no idea what you were referring to, right? But when you say that the link was already there, I'm pretty sure you're talking about the thing that is right over here, right? Let me try and do this. There it is, right? Yes, it is already right there, but I wanted to type it into the actual comments so that people are able to see it in the actual comments section as well. So we're not just talking about the link, we're talking about the comments, and it's also possible that I type it more than once. All right, so there you go. As we close then, what do we do now that we know that there are people who are going to expect the unexpected? Now that we know that we should plan the unplanned and that we need to get comfortable with the uncomfortable, right? Which we've been talking about all this time. One thing that we need to take away from all of this is that when things actually happen that we don't expect, use that as an opportunity to learn, right? Use that as an opportunity to improve. Don't see that as a way of nature, the universe, a higher power trying to give you a hard time. See everything as a stepping stone. See everything as a chance for you to learn how to improve yourself, how to solve your problems, how to improve your overall problem-solving skills, right? Because ultimately, these are all challenges that we will continue to face every single day of our lives, regardless of whether or not we planned it, regardless of whether or not it's part of our personal life or our professional life. Again, today was completely unplanned. I wanted to go on live a little bit earlier, but then at the last moment, we decided to go out and then we came back later than planned. Again, expecting the unexpected. So I hope that for today's session, over the last 90 minutes or so, you were able to find some value. If you have any additional questions, if you have comments, suggestions for future sessions, or if you want some additional follow-up sessions on anything that we've covered over our previous live streams, see this as an opportunity for us to connect, an opportunity for us to reconnect, and an opportunity for you to continue to learn, right? I always see this as a chance for me to continue to learn and improve, whether it's my speaking skills, whether it's my language skills, whether it's my live streaming capabilities, or whatever. Every time I hop on one of these, it's flight time for me, right? It's an additional 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 90 minutes of additional experience that I just got under my belt so that the next time I learn some new lessons from it that I can also share and also at the same time improve. So with that said, we appreciate you very much. As KK Lee says, thank you. Have a good night to all of you as well. If you are here in Southeast Asia in my time zone, like KK also is, it's obviously a very good night for all of us. It's 10:30 p.m. right now, depending on where you might be in other parts of the world. Have a good day, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and we will see you next time. Cheers.